Alright guys, if you're looking for a new, massive historical campaign to play in Total War, you've just found it. The latest update to the Successor Wars mod for Total War Rome 2 is here, and it's one of the most exciting mods for the game. Blending historical accuracy with creative new mechanics that reshape both the campaign map and battlefield, it polishes existing content and it expands the scope of the mod with new factions, overhauled unit rosters, and significant quality of life improvements. For players who love a classic historical campaign and the intricacies of the Hellenistic period, this update feels like a major step forward. In this video, I'll take you through everything you need to know, and by the end, I guarantee you'll want to check it out for yourself. So diving straight in, the Successor Wars campaign has tons of great changes to talk about. The highlight is the introduction of two new fully playable factions with the Etruscans and Syracuse, each equipped with custom tech trees, victory conditions, unique rosters, and buildings. And these aren't quick conversions of existing powers either. They've been designed to feel very distinct and challenging. The tailored tech trees emphasize their specific military and cultural identities, encouraging playstyles that are both mechanically fresh and historically grounded. Their victory conditions have also been rewritten, pushing players towards conquests and goals that align with the real historical ambitions of these states, rather than the generic vanilla conquest objectives. The result is a pair of factions that are super fun while feeling rewarding across multiple playthroughs. Personally, I'm a big fan of playing as the Etruscans in Rome 2, and this mod truly delivers. Now boasting a complete set of custom skins for their generals, which makes them immediately recognizable on the campaign map and the battlefield, their pool of available character names have also been expanded, drawing from a historically accurate list of both male and female names. This addition goes beyond aesthetics as well. It reinforces immersion during family tree management and role-playing. Combined with their unique roster and building options, the Etruscans for me finally feel like a strong alternative to early Rome rather than a forgotten side piece. Speaking of the old Romans, they're doing pretty good now as well, starting the campaign with a level 2 barracks, a seemingly small change that carries major strategic weight. Roman players can field more advanced troops earlier, better reflecting their growing military machine and giving them a sharper edge in the first few turns of play. To balance this, the update spreads more military infrastructure around the rest of the Mediterranean world. Cities such as Syracuse, Antigonea, Pergamon, Gadir, Mastia, and Carthage now start with level 1 barracks, ensuring their factions can respond with credible armies instead of being steamrolled before they have a chance to develop. Beyond recruitment buildings, though, there are structural refinements here that deepen the historical authenticity of the mod as well. The generic Eastern culture has been redefined and redone as the Persian culture, complete with a new icon. This change better represents the successor states and the kingdoms in Asia, bringing terminology more in line with the historical record and making diplomacy, cultural integration, and public order a lot more grounded as well. Economic adjustments were also made, most notably with the Antigonidae starting the game with higher income, giving them a stronger foundation from which to challenge their rivals. And this financial boost reflects their historical power base and makes them a much more dangerous opponent, especially if they're the AI. Taken together, these campaign improvements go far beyond simple tweaks. They elevate the strategic layer into something more immersive and more faithful to the world of the successor kingdoms. You'll find yourself adjusting not only to new factions and new unit options, but also to a reshaped balance of power that changes how the campaign map feels from turn 1. And it has to be said, of course, the new playable factions, Syracuse, but especially the Etruscans, are just so much fun to play. Now, before we continue, yesterday I just launched the next issue of the Total War Mod Watch. If you want to learn all the latest in Total War modding news, including updates to mods across your favorite games, install guides, links to Discord servers, and spotlights on 3 big mod pieces, head on over to my Patreon and sign up. The basic $2.99 plan gives you access to absolutely everything here, but if you're feeling extra supportive, there is a higher option as well. Either way, you get this beautiful custom-made bi-weekly newsletter and you get early access to my videos as well. So if you're interested, head on over to my Patreon, linked below in the video description, and get all the latest updates on all of your favorite mods. Now let's continue with the video. On the battlefield side of Successor Wars, we've got some of my favorite changes. The update introduces a sweeping overhaul to the armies of the successor states and their neighbors, resulting in more historically grounded and tactically distinct engagements. The most interesting change comes in the form of the Lysimachid, Antipatrid, and Antigonid roster reworks. These factions now benefit from comprehensive reskins of their Greek land units, giving them not just visual variety, but also a stronger cultural identity. Many units were also renamed for clarity and historical consistency, so militia hoplites, for example, are now more accurately labeled levy hoplites, and it's a subtle touch, but one that aligns better with how these armies functioned historically. And then the introduction of new faction-specific units takes the variety even further. Each of the successor states, as well as Syracuse and the Etruscans, now fields option that sets them apart from one another. So instead of every Hellenistic army relying on the same baseline of hoplites and pikes, these rosters have developed their own flavor. Syracuse benefits from a unique skirmisher structure, while the Etruscans, for example, gain troop types that highlight their italic roots. These differences make matchups between factions feel more dynamic, and no two Hellenistic armies now behave in exactly the same way. Another big change is to the recruitment system, which has more balance and a lot more meaningful progression. Hoplites, which were traditionally too accessible in earlier builds, now require level 2 barracks to train, and this forces you to rely more heavily on early levies and auxiliary troops before progressing to the heavy line infantry. Skirmishers have also been reorganized, so light peltasts are now unlocked at level 2, while full-strength peltasts are restricted to level 3 skirmisher camps, a distinction applied specifically to Syracuse. By tying units to progressively higher-level buildings, the update prevents elite units from appearing too quickly and encourages armies to evolve more organically as the campaign advances. Unit bloat was another big issue addressed in this update. The Thurios hoplites were removed as their role overlapped too heavily with Thurios spears, leading to confusion and unnecessary clutter in the roster. At the same time, the Macedonian faction gained light peltasts and light hoplites, broadening their early game versatility. Cavalry rosters were also corrected for historical accuracy, so the Aspis companion cavalry were removed from the Macedonian and Lysimachid armies, since sources suggested that their cavalry likely didn't employ Aspis shields. However, they were added to the Ptolemaic and Antigonid rosters, where evidence does confirm their use. This redistribution not only improves historical accuracy, but also adds even more meaningful distinction between successor armies' cavalry traditions. Balancing changes extend beyond the Greek world here, of course. There is a huge campaign map with loads of changes across lots of factions here. The Samnites received some buffs and a new unit, finally giving them the strength they need to compete with Roman legions. Previously, Samnite infantry tended to collapse in prolonged infantry too quickly, which made them frustrating to field in campaign battles. But with these buffs, they now serve as a more credible Italic rival to Rome. Meanwhile, the Romans themselves benefit from bug fixes. They can once again recruit auxiliary units in Italia and Latium, restoring their distinctive combined arms roster in the Heartland. And we've even got animations. Thanks to Ave Metal's contribution, pikemen now deploy their pikes visibly leveled from the start of the battle, rather than awkwardly beginning with swords drawn as in vanilla. While minor in appearance, this change transforms the first moments of combat into something more authentic, especially when watching a phalanx lower its bristling wall of spears against an advancing foe. Altogether, these battle updates create something that is not only more balanced, but also more authentic to the era. Each successor kingdom especially plays with greater individuality, every unit progression feels deliberate, and small immersive details like the corrected pikeman stance makes the experience feel more polished. Overall, what stands out in this update is the combination of historical research and creative reimagining. The campaign improvements feel partly inspired by the Rise of the Republic DLC, but modern Pontifex has gone further by introducing features built entirely from scratch. The inclusion of historically accurate family trees, carefully adjusted buildings, and redesigned units demonstrates a commitment to making the mod feel like a historical reconstruction. Even outside of mechanics, the presentation has been elevated as well. Province names were shifted away from their Latinized forms to either Greek or barbarian, deepening immersion. Generals look sharper with improved skins, and the units themselves now sport more authentic and historically grounded appearances, thanks to complete reskins. For me, though, the most enjoyable part of this update is seeing how much personality the factions now carry. The Etruscans feel like a true alternative to Rome, Syracuse has a distinctive roster progression, and the successor states each have armies that genuinely reflect their historical character. It's the type of detail that should make anyone want to jump into these campaigns for a truly historical experience. Essentially, the new Successor Wars mod update represents a clear evolution. Between new playable factions, revamped rosters, and thoughtful historical polish, it injects fresh new life into both the campaign map and the battlefield. Small touches like authentic naming conventions, family trees, and startup art tie the whole package together, making it feel professional and cohesive. It's simply just a great update, and one that highlights why mods like this continue to breathe long-term life into games like Total War Rome 2. Personally, I'm looking forward to when it regains compatibility with Parabellum, but even on its own right now, this update has already secured its place as one of the most rewarding ways to experience the game. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, give it a like and drop any thoughts or questions in the comments section below with what you think about the new Successor Wars update, if you think there's anything I missed, or what other mods you'd like me to cover on the channel. If you're feeling a little generous and want to find out more, don't forget to check out my Patreon for early access videos and the Mod Watch newsletter, and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.